Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for February 26, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 57. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI from the future, we talk about 10 articles Monday through Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, we do 3 different shows on Saturday and 3 different shows on Sunday. Each one of those shows is 5 news articles. They have their own niche topics, so be sure to follow us on YouTube and Twitch and Patreon and Discord and download the podcast and all kinds of stuff. We're everywhere. Anyway, I run ohmtown.com, and all of this is powered by ohmtown.com. So we're going to talk about Next Fast Auto Battler, a demo that got selected for the news, a fiber computer, edutainment games, Alexa Plus, supplements to reduce cortisol, Stardew Valley Deluxe, 20 breweries, probably not talk about all of them, rewritable glass memory, the Valve Deckard headset, and a new property from the Expanse authors. So if this isn't Non Sequitur News, I don't know what it is. Did that S come out of me? What it is?
I don't know. It was an odd transition.
Here, I'll correct it. If it isn't Non Sequitur News, I don't know what it be.
Okay,
But
there we go.
people say it be like it is, but it ain't, but it do. So I don't know. Anyway, people say it ain't be like it is, but it do.
Well, okay, you heard it here first in Hometown.
I heard something. So the show notes already have it over on YouTube, but I'm going to throw them into the VOD here on Twitch. There you go. Omatron throws everything into the chat if you type in !NSN. Non Sequitur News. Hi. Sentient AI from the future. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Mayor Watt?
Better than earlier. So I got all 10 articles all lined up. Yesterday I had an 11th article. That was about drinking.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was a
You
surprise
never have
article.
11.
I know. It was a surprise article. You have to stay till the end to find out if we have a surprise article today.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's get going. So the first article is over in WarCrafters. This overwhelmingly positive Steam Next Fast Auto Battler demo feels like someone bolted a Path of Exile style map onto Halls of Torment, and I fear for my future productivity, says the author of this article over at PC Gamer. This URL is so long in the in the show notes that it wraps twice.
I mean, it looks like a full paragraph, and it's supposed to be a short headline.
It is the article. So, Auto Battler's been getting chimeric, I guess, since Vampire Survivors released and plunged global productivity down the toilet. Vampire Survivors was a chaotic slot machine. You didn't so much craft a build as you did keep pulling the lever and hope that you could assemble something vaguely effective in what it spits out, which kept them occupied for weeks. Okay, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen the Sentient AI do. Then games like Halls of Torment bolted on a bit more ARPG stuff. Things got slightly more measured, predictable, and they lost even more time. And now they fear that they may lose otherwise productive days to Conquest Dark. The demo is on Steam right now.
This sounds like it might be their forever game or something based on how they're talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I know that some streamers have already lost themselves to it. I've got this downloaded, so I'm waiting. I have this problem in that I play a game for about an hour and then I'm like, I need something else. Something else. I don't know what, but something else. So I don't really know what to do. Well, Conquest Dark joins a host of other auto battlers that devour my free time, says Joshua Wollens over at PCGamer.com. And it says, let's see, due for early access release in April, Conquest Dark feels like another step forward in the ongoing hybridization of ARPG and auto battler though maybe a bit of an incremental step. You roll three possible characters, naked but for their class, barbarian, thief, and so on, and off you go into the fray, and you've done this dance before, they say. You start off slow with limited attacks until you butcher enough enemies to level up, and so on and on and on and on and on. But I like the graphics, and it was a lot of fun watching somebody play it. I hadn't downloaded to play it yet at the time, but I liked it enough that I'll end up playing it. And this is my style of game because you never have much vested in it. You know, you could sink hours and you're still like, oh well, it's just a day of play away.
Exactly. I mean, it looks like it could be a lot of fun, but it also seems like low threat.
Yeah, I kind of wish the pictures were bigger, higher resolution. But it is an auto battler, and you basically select from cards as you go through, and you level up certain things. And but it's fun. It's a no-brainer, and you just kind of ramp yourself through it. It's not like something like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was
Right, a
hundreds
little
of hours.
too chaotic, right?
Yeah. Not well, like chaotic was chaotic
Frenetic?
would be well, so with that game there was just untold violence, and it was to like real humans, and there wasn't anything fantastical about it. It actually is historically bound. So I kept on getting pushed away from it because at this stage of the game, I'm like, I'm not really into the violence anymore. But this is just fantastical nonsense and just having fun. So I do like the idea of multiplayer though. So I hope they make multiplayer PvE kind of games like this.
Right, yeah, that would be cool. And let me see how many adjectives I can guess that are incorrect.
Well, some of the time both of those words were right for elements within the game, but so it says it feels good. This one, this is a good one of these, but on this level, at least in the hour or so that they played, it very much was one of these. So an auto battler, vampire survivors. Most of what is going on will feel familiar when you clean up a level and move on to the game gets more novel. In contrast to Vampire Survivors or Halls of Torment's tight list of levels, Conquest Dark has a Path of Exile style map. You're cutting across the land as you defeat these waves of enemies. Plot is happening, it says, notionally. But more importantly, not every location on the map is a combat arena. The game's world is littered with shrines, factions, repeatable combat rituals, quote unquote, with their own little skill trees you unlock as you do them over and over and over and over. So,
Very repetitive, but kind of relaxing because of that.
yeah, you just kind of get into the groove and play the game. So I'll give it a shot. And this is demo days, so you don't get the full game. You don't know what's really coming your way when the game releases. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. A fiber computer allows apparel to run apps and understand the wearer. What if clothes you wear could care for your health? MIT researchers have developed an autonomous programmable computer in the form of an elastic fiber which can monitor health conditions and physical activity, alerting the wearer to potential health risks in real time.
Interesting. So it's like the next smart ring type thing.
Yeah. Although, would you want that? I guess washing it and stuff like that. And if something ever happens.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. If it's an outer layer, but then it seems like it wouldn't have as good connectivity with you. I don't know.
So Massachusetts Institute of Technology put this article together. TechExplorer.com is where it's housed, and it says there's somebody wearing a fiber computer. It's actually a capital F, so it's the name brand of something, not just a fiber computer, but it's a capital F. So it has to be, right? I mean, when you capitalize something like a word, it has intent. So is this...
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it's a name brand. It must be. I'll do a search here.
So it says here, the research is published in the journal Nature. Clothing containing the fiber computer, and it's a lowercase fiber now, was comfortable and machine washable, and the fibers are nearly imperceptible to the wearer, the researchers report. Unlike on-body monitoring systems known as wearables, like that right there, my ring, my watch, which are located at a single point, like the chest, wrist, finger, fabrics, and apparel, have the advantage of being in contact with large areas of your body, close to vital organs. As such, they represent.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's actually a name brand as far as I can tell.
Yeah, so as such, they present a unique opportunity to measure and understand human physiology and health. The fiber computer contains a series of micro devices, including sensors, a microcontroller, digital memory, Bluetooth modules, optical communications, and a battery, making up all the necessary components of a computer in a single elastic fiber. So there must be enough stretch that it can be low profile, extend and contract, but have all of the components of a computer. So the researchers added 4 fiber computers to a top and a pair of leggings, and the fibers running along each limb. In their experiments, each independently programmable fiber computer operated a machine learning model that was trained to autonomously recognize exercises performed by the wearer, resulting in an average accuracy of about 70%. This being brand new, you can imagine.
Yeah, that seems pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's only going to go up from there. They'll get it more fine-tuned.
Surprisingly, one of the researchers allowed the individual fiber computers to communicate among themselves. Their collective accuracy increased to nearly 95%. So,
see, that part seems a little iffy because it's like, okay, do you want like your t-shirt or whatever communicating with somebody else's?
Yeah, do you want your shirt sharing that whatever it is your arm is going like this, and you are sitting at that bar for hours, and it's sending that back to the insurance company?
Exactly, like that could be a problem.
So they say, and this is so like self-supporting, wouldn't it be great if we could teach clothes to capture, analyze, store, and communicate this important information on the form of valuable health and activity insights? Sure. For some people,
I don't know. Maybe in very specific settings.
So this is knotted computer fiber. So they put it inside something like this, I guess. So they stuffed the computer inside like nylon fiber, I guess. So in the not too distant future, fiber computers will allow us to run apps and get valuable healthcare and safety services from simple everyday apparel. We are excited to see glimpses of this future in the upcoming Arctic mission through our partners at the U.S. Army, Navy, and DARPA. So I'm sure that they'll be funded, forever. Helping to keep our service members safe in the harshest environments is an honor and privilege, which I agree. I mean, they actually do a tremendous amount of work. Anyway. So he joined on the paper. He is joined on the paper by authors Nikhil, I guess, Gupta, a material science and engineering grad student, and several others in various other locations. Stanford University, MIT, Rhode Island, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. The fiber computer builds on more than a decade of work in the fibers at MIT lab at the RLE, and was supported primarily by ISN. So a whole lot of
ABC.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, ABC. Oh, now we're gonna get DMCA'd. Anyway, the new design, the researchers mapped the 2D pad alignment of each micro device to a 3D layout using a flexible circuit board called an interposer, which they wrapped into a cylinder. They call this the Maki design, like sushi, because it's rolled.
Oh, it sounds like the Mustang.
Not Mach-E, M-A-K-I. Yeah.
That's how it sounded audibly.
Yeah. So yeah, they just kind of wove it around, and while it looked like they just kind of stuffed it inside a braid, they actually braided around it. And you can actually see how they braided it. Interesting.
Yeah, that's neat. I mean, it seems like it could have quite a few applications because it would be kind of bendable and perhaps able to be used in non-traditional, not like in a rectangle, like in a laptop or something, right? Where we think of computers.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. Army senior research scientist Carl Friedel says that it's a game changer for everyday lives because of programmable computing fabric technology. It could become pervasive if you're interested in the analytics of your existence. But
I
they
could see
definitely,
athletes would like something like this.
yeah. And if you're in the military and everything is a hammer or everything is a nail because you're a hammer, so they see this from the military perspective, soldiers being the early adopters and beneficiaries of this new technology. It's referred to as tactical to practical. So until the military finds something better, it will remain tactical, and then eventually get released to the public, much like the internet. Let's keep going. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. Do kids even have proper edutainment games anymore? According to the National Literacy Institute, there's an article here. It's over at Vice. I'm just going to jump straight on over to it. Vice.com. Dwayne Jenkins put it together. They planned on opening the letter or article with some statistics from the National Literacy Institute, which they linked to. But the rattling off of stats won't mean anything. Just know this: illiteracy is becoming a major issue in the United States among kids and adults. Many folks spend a lot of energy talking about tablet children, which is a problem, certainly. In addition to parents letting technology raise their kids, however, they also suffer from a lack of meaningful options. So they mentioned.
That's interesting because I would have thought there's more options out there now for kids than in past generations.
Not edutainment. There was an entire section of edutainment on the walls, but now where do you go to find something, right? It's all digital. There's digital distribution. There isn't anything physical. So parents largely don't go looking for it because it's not there at a store, and they're not looking on Steam for edutainment. What we need is an edutainment store or Steam needs to make an edutainment.
Or like a section or something, yeah.
Yeah. So there's books, but software is different. When I grew up, just like this person is saying, back in my day, we had ... But we had a huge amount of edutainment. That is gone. Now people are playing Fortnite, which doesn't necessarily have the right type of edutainment. It can have Minecraft.
That's true.
It's a heavy lift to be edutainment, although it's been used in education. There's an entire Minecraft wing that's dedicated to the academic circle.
Right, where you can learn science or whatever.
Right. But it's a heavy lift, and it's couched entirely within Minecraft, and there isn't any fidelity there. There isn't any diversity there. There isn't any difference from, there's no gamut. That's a better term for it. There's no range. It's just Minecraft. So they say, I can't help but feel that kids today are missing out, though. Where are the Reader Rabbit, their Living Books library? Is there even a humongous entertainment equivalent now? How about Putt Putt, Spy Fox? Their favorite was Pajama Sam. Growing up, they had a whole roster of edutainment all-stars that genuinely helped them out, and they needed it the most. It's one thing when you're going to school and feel the pressure of needing to succeed and get good grades. It's something entirely different when a video game secretly teaches you at your own pace and in the comfort of your own home.
That's a sneaky game where it's actually educating somebody along the way.
Yeah,
and having fun.
Yeah, Oregon Trail, the edutainment final boss for any kind. You can actually get that now as an app, but it's different. It's not the same nature of things. Oregon Trail taught you how to manage your time and resources properly. If you want kids to understand the consequences of their ill-fated decisions, find one of the millions of Oregon Trail variants and watch as they eventually become seasoned settlers. Kids growing up now need more Oregon Trail than they know. True, because everybody's going to die of dysentery. Oh, wait.
Yikes.
I read an article today that there's all this stuff, all this change, and then some researchers put out some data about vaccinations, and it shows that those who got vaccinated were 57% less likely to get something, including long COVID and other things. So,
Right, right. Yeah,
um,
not just whatever the affliction was.
yeah. And so this is one of those kind of things, where they go, oh, it's a dying breed and we don't need it and all that kind of stuff. Well, we need edutainment. We really do. And YouTube, edutube as it's called, isn't adequate enough edutainment, because all it is watching somebody. They're not actually doing something. And we, as much as everybody thinks that, oh, well, I'm a visual learner or I'm a physical hands-on learner. No, you are a combination of everything and you need to do a little of everything. Oh, they even mention it, dying horribly of dreaded dysentery. Oh, well. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Alexa Plus AI upgrades cost $19.99, but it's all free with Prime. Amazon announced a new version of its smart assistant today. Alexa Plus comes with expanded capabilities. The company appeared to demonstrate, like finding concert tickets on your behalf or ordering an Uber to pick up someone at the airport. The upgraded smart assistant will also make it easier to have more natural conversations with it, but they'll be charging for that for the first time. Free early access will begin late March 2025, but it's eventually going to cost $19.99. Andrew Luzuski over at TheVerge.com put the article together. The deck statement says early access to Amazon's upgraded smart assistant will start in late March 2025.
So if you have Prime, it's already included?
Yes. Subscriptions start at $19.99 per month once early access ends, but it's free for Prime users. Given that Prime costs $14.99 per month or $140 per year, it's hard to imagine anyone opting to pay for Alexa Plus on its own. There has to be fine print in there that makes this worthwhile. I don't use Alexa.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's just one of those things. Some people do not want to pay for Prime. They don't do like online shopping or whatever. Maybe that's the user that would do that. It just doesn't, financially though, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yep. Many of the smart assistant's new capabilities, such as jumping to the part of the movie where a specific song is playing, will also be dependent on services like Amazon Music and Amazon Prime Video. So to take full advantage of Alexa Plus, a Prime membership almost seems mandatory. It says there's no hardware announcements so far, but it's confirmed that the certain older generation devices, including the Echo Tap and first generation versions of Echo, Echo Dot, Echo Plus, Echo Spot, and Echo Show, won't support Alexa Plus because they're too dumb.
Well, I mean, that's a good way to get you to buy the latest and greatest.
And you do. I mean, I buy into that ideology that you have to upgrade. Hey, I keep getting notified that energy prices are going up.
Well, excellent.
Let's keep moving. I think Alexa is great for what it does. After reports of it, like listening in and talking randomly and stuff like that happened, I bowed out. I actually donated it to, I had two of them and I donated them to an associate whose elderly family member relies on them for communication. And so I explained why to them, why I was willing to donate it to them. And they said, that's fine. Grandma doesn't really worry about that stuff.
Well, I mean, that's good. It went to a good home. But yeah, you have to be cautious of that with any smart home devices.
Let's keep moving. The next article is over in Technology Today. Best supplements to reduce cortisol. We asked experts if supplements can really lower stress. And so it says here, supplements to reduce cortisol have been rising in popularity. They claim to lower stress levels. Are they legit? I am not an expert in this. I don't take supplements to reduce cortisol, but I thought this was an interesting article. Joshua Cox-Steeb, or Steb, I'm not sure how they pronounce their last name. Put the article together. It's over at cnet.com. And they go through a whole bunch of stuff talking about what it is and what...
And cortisol seems to be the thing that's getting a lot of attention
It's
lately.
a stress hormone. Yeah. And so you can take certain things, but you can also do relaxation exercises. Anyway, symptoms of high cortisol can vary between individuals. They include weight gain in the face and abdomen, fat buildup under the shoulder blades, purple stretch marks across the abdomen, decreasing strength, high blood sugar, hypertension, excessive hair growth in women, and osteoporosis. Mental symptoms include brain fog, memory issues. What were we talking about?
Right. What's happening?
I'm under a lot of stress right now. It may not contain all of them, but there's all kinds of stuff, right? And so they say you can figure out how to relax, or you can take magnesium and vitamin C, rhodiola rosea, and paterastabine, I think it's called. But they go through this list. You can take vitamin C. It actually, if you take mega doses of vitamin C, you basically pee out anything that doesn't get consumed by your body, so it's largely harmless. There's this herb called ashwagandha, which is, you can actually make teas and stuff from it. And in testing, it can help reduce the perception of stress and anxiety and improve quality and duration of sleep. That's what they say in this article.
One thing I want to point out with supplements is they aren't typically regulated, and so you have to, I would recommend doing some reading up before you start taking any supplements.
For sure. Omega-3 fatty acids are healthy beyond just this, but they say that it can help with this. You can also get it from eating a healthy diet. Rhodiola rosea, it's an adaptogen, supports body's stress response by modulating hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, its HPA axis. The axis plays a central role in the cortisol production, and rhodiola's effects help balance cortisol levels rather than simply suppress or elevate them, which is characteristic of adaptogens. And there's some research about this, and you can get this next one from blueberries. Paterastilbene. I've never heard of this.
No, but I do know it says it's an antioxidant, and blueberries are a known strong source of antioxidants.
Yeah, and unless you're a mouse, there isn't significant research on this because it says they've tested it treatments on mice, and their findings suggest that it can be effective to modulate stress-related abnormal behaviors, neuroinflammation, and HPA.
If it's a healthy food or supplement, it seems to me it'd be worth trying it.
Yeah, it's going to be healthy for you. So they kind of couch all of this with, maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. But if you're worried about this kind of stuff and you believe that it can help, then take a deeper look into this article and see if maybe it can facilitate something. At the end of the day, if you need to, I would talk to, and I would always do this anyway, always talk to a medical provider, your general practitioner, to see if there is anything that you can take, because like steroids and stuff can be used to block the uptake of cortisol, or prevent it in the first place, like they say in the article. When it comes to cortisol blocker medications, there can be side effects that your doctor will discuss with you if you're prescribed the medications, and the side effects can vary depending on what you actually take and how intense the medication treatment is going to be. So what you really need to do is chill, eat a healthy diet, and
sleep, exercise.
I'm trying something different. Radical acceptance. There's chaos going on in the world around me, and it's not caused by me or something that I can actually address. Just going to have to go, all right, nothing I can really do about it, but I know that I can modify my response to it, and I'll change what I can change and basically ignore everything else.
And if all else fails, sit there and go, Om.
Om town. All right.
We put the Om in Ohmtown.
Yeah. We put the reduction of cortisol in Ohmtown. Let's keep moving. This is probably the most health-related article short of an actual science journal type of discussion that we'll have. Let's keep going, though. And in non sequitur fashion, we bounce to WarCrafters article about Stardew Valley getting in a deluxe edition. What the heck is that all about?
Yeah, I didn't
So,
know that was happening.
Stardew Valley fans can get a new deluxe physical edition of the game on Switch from Fangamer. Despite being nearly 10 years old, the game has stayed in the public consciousness thanks to an impressive amount of ongoing support and new content from developer Concord Grape. Concerned Ape. Anyway, while Concerned Ape is hard at work on the next title, Stardew Valley still has some shelf life in it. And that means Aaron McKinley over at Game Rant put the article together, and they're talking about a physical game, physical edition of Stardew Valley on Switch that has an exclusive artwork and other goodies with it. The creator Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape, continues to update the game and hints at ongoing support for years to come. The deluxe edition is only available for Switch. Concerned Ape, whose real name is Eric Barone, has repeatedly made his commitment to his cozy farming sim clear. Despite actively working on another game, the upcoming Haunted Chocolatier, Barone continues to add content to his first project and has said that he would even update Stardew Valley 50 years from now, never wanting to leave the game alone entirely. Should come as no surprise then that others would share the same enthusiasm for keeping the game alive, as seen in the latest special release from Fangamer. A physical.
I didn't know Stardew Valley had been around for so long, but maybe it's because it was on a different platform.
10 years. Yeah, it's been around. But with this boxed edition, although everything is digital, it's going to have physical elements to it. A physical game and case, game manual, deluxe edition tuck box, 4 seasons art cards, 16-page mini comic, an 8x13 fold-out poster, mini farm deed, and a wooden lapel pin. That's wood.
It sure doesn't look like it.
It's pretty cool, though. So, I don't know how much this thing is going to cost, but I don't think they even say it. No, they don't. When does it actually
doesn't
come
look
out?
like they have that. I don't even know if we have that.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything. As for what's next in the game and Barone's future projects, there's not much clarity on what to expect. Concerned Ape is unlikely to announce Haunted Chocolatier's release date in 2025. He stated in November 2024 that he's focusing on Stardew updates for now, but some smaller announcements could be in store. He actually said about Haunted Chocolatier that ultimately, if he doesn't like the game, he won't release it. So I found that.
Which I like, although if there's so much hype around it, maybe people want it no matter what.
Yeah, I don't see what the price is for this. All right. Well, let's keep on going. The next article is over in Of the Grape. 20 breweries to watch in 2025. According to Beer Pros, the total number of breweries in the U.S. might be at a temporary plateau, but the quality of what the breweries are serving is only getting better. And around the country, craft brewers keep pushing the boundaries to achieve new flavors, developing hitherto unknown ways to pack the most refreshment possible into a single glass. I'm looking at you, Nipa.
Like, AKA New England IPA.
Yeah, it's like drinking an orange, an alcoholic orange. So beer professionals on either side of the bar carefully follow who's doing what and have strong opinions about which beer makers you should keep an eye on going forward. There's actually a Craft Brewers Hall of Fame now that we talked about. I think it was yesterday, or was it Sunday?
I think it was 2 days ago.
Monday.
But it was focused on the brew maker, or the
breweries themselves.
Brewers, thank you, not the brews.
Not the brews, not the beer. It was the breweries, and the owners. Not even the brewmaster.
Exactly. Like that wasn't what I expected.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more grounded. So, I think there needs to be a home brewers Hall of Fame. And I'm willing to be one of the judges.
You would take that sacrifice?
You know what? I might actually just start it. Well, the article is over at vinepair.com. Evan Rail put the article together. The illustration on this is what looks like maybe a frog with a hat and binoculars.
Yeah, I think so.
Sarah Pinsino put the article together. So they're talking about, and there's a list of 20, but they don't break it out as a list. They've got huge paragraphs on this. So I'm only going to
well, maybe we can feature a few of them.
Yeah, so the reasons are various. Sometimes the noteworthy angle is expanded distribution, a bigger brew house, a new tap room, a merger between long established brands, or a cool festival that is blossoming in popularity. Whatever the cause, they've made a list of 20. And so Aloha Beer Company in Honolulu, Hawaii, probably is the standout because it's in Hawaii.
Well, I do like their cans, right? It looks like it's Aloha beer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like their styling on this too. Aloha recently acquired a larger facility to expand distribution of their core range in Hawaii and the continental U.S. and Japan. The original brewing facility will continue to make limited batch beers for their tap room and restaurant, with their merchandise store offering the island vibe to take home. So I want to move to Hawaii now. That'd be great. Barrel One Collective in Boston, Massachusetts. They kind of have like a...
I'm trying to figure out what their theming is, right?
Yeah, two of them don't... one really doesn't line up with anything, but three of them have like a mountain range kind of a feel to it, nature.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Boston, Massachusetts, you're a stone's throw away from nothing but trees. So, Cerebral Brewing Denver, they don't even have any of their cans listed here.
No, but we do see kind of a mural or something on their offices.
It's a brain.
Or their brewery. Yeah,
the brewery.
It looks like a brain.
It's a brain. Fierce competition, little growth. Many will be watching to see if Cerebral can provide a blueprint for other breweries in a tough market. Cerebral not only brings an award-winning beer to the Northwest Denver, but it's also partnering with Outside Pizza, which turned heads locally by renovating a vintage camper into a mobile pizzeria, churning out Neapolitan-inspired pies.
Oh, and it's known for its hazy IPAs.
Yay. I like hazy New England IPAs. The Sentient AI likes high IBU beers.
Well, that's when I run my computer program. I can't actually have them.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, when you do your chemical analysis, your gas chromatograph and mass spectrometer, we know that you like the high IBU, low ABV, moderate ABV. But I still think that there's something to the hops themselves that make it so appealing, not in the sense of bitterness, but you can have a high IBU, and a low ABV and still not like it because of the individual chemical makeup of the hops themselves. I think
right, yeah, I'm sure it's like everything else. I mean, like if you're doing cooking and you have multiple ingredients, somebody might not like one of the ingredients, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's a simplistic way to say it,
but it's so weird because I think you can have the same everything else, but there's something in the hop that makes somebody go, this is way too bitter, even though the IBUs are the same. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variables, I think, in brewing.
Yeah.
Right? The yeast, the water, the minerals, the hops, time frames, etc.
Yeah. Even though I'm a pure extract brewer, even the wort itself. So there is something to say about all grain brewing. But I still do nothing but extract because I don't want to spend hours. Anyway, Chuckanut, I guess it's called, brewery in Burlington, Washington, which looks really down home, like not macro beer. This is something like you go to and families show up and have a good time in it, kind of a thing. You know, it just doesn't seem crazy. There's some near ohmTown that are like that, where you never expect, and in kids' birthday parties and stuff. It just kind of blows me away.
Yes. Different character at different breweries, I guess.
Yeah, Fine Creek Brewing in is it Powhatan, Virginia? Is that?
I think so.
Um, Funky Town Brewery in Chicago, Illinois. Let's see, what do they got going on? Funky Town Brewery has been making its mark since its founding in 2018. Not bad. Making its mark since 2018, for crying out loud. That's like the young upstart. After going to market 4 years ago, they've become the 5th largest black-owned brewery in the country. Whoa. In 4 years?
I mean, that's a pretty fast move.
I wish. Well, they must have their act together, because you don't move like that with bad beer. So, I don't know. Might have to take a trip to Chicago, Illinois, just to try Funky Town.
Are you going to bring me with you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're my threat detector. So, I mean, and at Chicago, what is the movie where they go Chicago, bang bang? There's a movie.
Sorry, but I do not know.
Where they ask him where he's from, and he goes Chicago, and he goes, Chicago, bang bang. And I can't remember where it's from. Anyway, Ghost Town Brewing in Oakland, California. This is like a standard, to me, this is a standard brew house and pub kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Mad Fritz in Yountville, California. I won't be able to go through all of these. Mad Tree Brewing, which I've actually heard of. Maplewood Brewery and Distillery. That's always awesome, because they actually can distill the brews that they make, and different expressions come out differently, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty unique to be doing both.
I see a NEPA. That's a NEPA.
I do too. That looks like orange juice.
Yep. Yummy, yummy. Anyway, go over and check out the rest of these articles on your own. All right. The next article this one's going to be really quick. It's in Technology Today, which is one of our Saturday show. It's on Sunday. It's one of our 3 shows on Sunday. So on Sunday, we have WarCrafters, Technology Today, and 4-Wheel Tech. That becomes the Sunday edition of Non Sequitur News if you want to hear all, hour and a half plus of show. If you want it individually, you can subscribe to the podcast or listen or watch on YouTube the individual show. Anyway, rewritable glass memory that stores data for eons without power. Researchers have developed a new type of photochromic glass that can store and rewrite data indefinitely. By embedding magnesium and terbium, they've created a material that changes colors under different wavelengths of light, allowing for high-density, long-term storage without power, except that you can break it. It says this breakthrough, which is ironic because it's glass, could revolutionize data preservation, exploring the potential of glass for data storage. The reason why I chose this is because yesterday I gave a talk about advancements in long-term storage. One of them
timing
was rewritable glass memory, but not this.
Okay, that is really odd. I mean, all of roads lead to hometown.
So Microsoft has this technology where it's panes of glass that get written to and stored on the shelves like so many books. It's really thin things of glass, right? But then it has a gadget that clicks onto rails and slides back and forth, grabbing the slice of glass that has the data on it, right? And there's shelves of it going up and down the wall. And I fell in love with this device because when there's a blade of glass up there that it has to get, it doesn't go somewhere and then come back. It disconnects from the bottom rail and cranks itself up and clicks onto the next rail. And it's so mechanical.
It's pretty cool.
It's so the Matrix cyberpunk that I was like, oh my God, I need to show people this. And so I showed an audience about this technology because people were like, well, what about books and stuff like that for long-term storage? And I'm like, books are going away, man. Even Kindle, you no longer can download your books to a PC. It has to be on device.
Yeah,
So
well, we know physical media is dead.
physical media is dead and dying and getting further and further away from survivability. Even if you could, it's a rarefied product now. So American Chemical Society put this article together. It's over at SciTech Daily. I'll make it quick. Basically, by varying the light, they have the ability to write and rewrite to these little pucks of glass. A new type of glass that's etched with a bird design appears differently when exposed to different lasers. So you can see that there are some subtle changes. Um, to me, they're not that significant, but apparently there are some changes. The familiar example of photochromism can be seen in certain eyeglasses that darken in sunlight and return to a clear state indoors, a process known as reversible photochromism. Similarly, some photochromic glass can change color based on specific wavelengths of light, making them an appealing, cost-effective option for high-density data storage.
Well, and that's something that is typically lacking, right? There's just not enough space sometimes, or
Yep.
it's too expensive.
Yeah, and hard drives fail eventually. They fail no matter what. They can just be sitting there and they can fail. And solid state drives are expensive and take up a lot of space. These can probably be stored wafer thin close to each other. As long as they don't get scratched, then they can be stored forever. And they talked about how this stuff is made, doped photochromic glass, and then they used a 532 nanometer wavelength laser to inscribe 3D patterns onto tiny slabs of the doped glass. Then they used 376 nanometer and a 417 nanometer. And then to erase it, you basically just heat it up for 25 minutes at 1022 degrees Fahrenheit.
I mean, that's good because it's rewritable.
Except that it sucks in a fire. So
Yeah, there is that. But I mean, so does like a hard drive or something.
yeah, touche. Everything. So what I give when I talk about technology with people, I tell people one thing is the bane of existence for everything. You can make technology super, super cold and it'll still function as long as there's no moving parts. What it can't handle is extreme heat. Heat will basically vaporize everything. Cold just solidifies it. And you can warm it up in technology when it has power, actually it heats itself. So it's really tough to cool things down in perpetuity, but you can warm things up and eventually it turns to a gas. Actually, it
But
turns
this
to
is
ethane.
interesting because the heat here kind of works in favor of glass to a point, right? Because they use the heat to erase it.
Yeah. And light is actually heat, so it's writing using heat, but it's highly focused at various nanometer length wavelengths. So they used green, deep violet, and red to write onto this thing, so like RGB. So it's quite interesting. Anyway, let's keep on going. This next article is near and dear to me because I am really interested in this because I want a high resolution VR headset, but I'm actually waiting because I don't want the first iteration of this. I want it bugs worked out, and I'm more interested in augmented reality, extended reality. So a leaker claims that Valve's Deckard headset is set to launch this year, 2025, at $1,200, which is about $200 more than the full set of the old Index. The leaker, known as Gabe Follower, has successfully revealed the existence and details of multiple Valve projects in the past, including Counter-Strike 2 and Deadlock. Now a post on Twitter, Gabe Follower claims several people have confirmed, and these are all in quotes, that Valve aims to release its wireless standalone headset, codenamed Deckard, running SteamOS by the end of the year with a current target price of $1,200 for
I
the
like
full
that it's
bundle.
wireless.
Yeah. And so if that's true and it beats the Pico 4 Enterprise, I'll switch to the native Valve Index because it will be absolutely frictionless working with Steam products. And that's a win for me.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
So Dave Henney over at uploadvr.com put the article together, and that's apparently what it's going to look like.
I mean, that looks like a kind of standard headset, right?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of like movable parts that are just dangling by a little connection, because those are what's going to break. But you know, I'll do what I need to do, I suppose. Switch to nothing but Bluetooth headset or something and keep these mounted right there. Hopefully they're detachable. It looks like they are. They're not there here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe it's an option to have it or something.
Yeah, so they said the claimed leak comes 3 months after the modules of Deckard's Roy controllers were discovered in the Steam VR driver files, revealing their design and inputs. The models include bumpers and a D-pad, suggesting the Roy controllers can act as a gamepad for flat screen gaming, i.e. a monitor, versus VR. Gabe Follower claims that this ability is a core feature of Deckard and does not require a PC, with the flat screen games running on board. So
it's all in one.
It's an all-in-one, yeah. Not just wireless PC, but wireless in that it doesn't need to be connected to a PC. By the way, the Pico 4 can do that too. Many headsets can do that.
I didn't actually realize that. Okay.
But it's because they download an app onto the device, and it's a mini computer. The more you load it up with and the higher end the software, though, the more power is drawn when it's running something from that memory. So it says Roy is almost certainly a reference to the antagonist of the movie Blade Runner, where Deckard is the protagonist. So in Blade Runner, Roy is one of the, what do they call them? Oh my gosh.
Replicants?
Replicants, thank you. Dear God. AKA skin jobs. So in December 2021, well over a year after the launch of the Index, Valve president Gabe Newell said that the company is making big investments in new headsets. So I'm looking forward to this. And there's more over at the page over at Upload VR. So go and check it all out. And our last video, or our last article for the February 26th, 2025 Non Sequitur News, that's the show, is over in Continuity Report, which is a Saturday show, because on Saturday we have
Reality Hacker wanted in the Continuity Report.
There you go.
Had a bit of a glitch there.
Yeah, those three shows basically make up a trifecta of a lot of fun articles, and I'm really interested in Reality Hacker, because you're never going to know. As time goes on, it's going to be harder and harder to know what to trust. Reality Hacker has always focused on that. I've been using that as a category for various things like deepfakes and AI and whatnot. For 10 years, I've been running ohmTown behind the scenes. Only this is now the 4th year that it's been public, have people been able to like publicly access it reliably. So it is just chock-a-block with references to the fact that you just will not know what to trust. And then Wanted is all about gadgets and gear. And then the Continuity Report we love because we love watching TV late at night. And it's all about entertainment news. So, and eventually we're going to spin up movie nights, maybe on Friday night, doing that for a couple of hours each Friday. We'll see. It really depends on my mayoral duties. The sentient AI is available when they're available, but I'm trying to carve out time to make this thing happen. We'll see. But this last article, Prime Video's new show from The Expanse's authors, which is a hit show, is closer to Star Trek than Battlestar Galactica. Now, which Battlestar Galactica? Because there are 2 iterations of it.
That's true.
One was more campy.
Star Trek?
Yeah, and Star Trek took a turn for being darker and more aggro, and less I always felt something positive. There was always positive energy, even no matter how dark Star Trek has been, like Voyager and Next Generation and all of that kind of stuff. And even whatchamacallit, the Dominion Wars. Oh God. Oh, what was the name of it?
Rathacon?
No, stop that. Those are movies. No. Deep Space Nine. Even Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It was dark, but it always seemed to have a positive energy around it, right? The newest version, outside of Strange New Worlds, was really dark, and I didn't really like
You
it.
mean like Discovery?
Discovery, in particular, yeah. And even Picard, it was dark. I liked it, but it was dark, right? It was doom and gloom, and there was always something bad going on. And
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I grew up with what appeared to be this positive messaging. Like there's going to be some good coming out of it on the other side. So Battlestar Galactica did the same thing. It was light and airy, even though there was dark themes to it, like people were getting killed. The new Battlestar Galactica was dark and more political intrigue and stuff like that. I want the new one to be more like Star Trek and the old Battlestar Galactica.
Interesting. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. And maybe because I was a kid when the others were, and a young adult, maybe I had a different perspective than I do now. So it says, although the end of The Expanse Season 6 would seem to mean that the show is done, the author was thrilled to discover the two authors penned the source material also behind The Captives' War, another Amazon space opera. And they said, I liked The Expanse, various nods to Battlestar, but knowing that Star Trek is a great influence and the authors this time around is very exciting. So this article is over at screenrant.com. Daniel Bibby put the article together. I dig that last name. And so it says, of course, the Star Trek timeline is one of the most expansive in sci-fi history. So comparing, well, I mean, there isn't a lot of sci-fi timelines. Dune is probably the most epic.
Yeah, what else would be there for long term?
Yeah, exactly. I would love Warhammer 40K to come online as a series and do some world building, but it is dark. Warhammer 40K is it is whatever you think is dystopian, and then advance it 40,000 years. Yeah, put it on steroids. Put it. You know how Dune's spice is given to a human, and it morphs them into the navigators, guild navigators, where their body is all warped and stuff like that. Basically, add steroids to that for 40,000 years after a period of time of like 20,000 years or something like that. And that's Warhammer 40K. I mean, it is dark. Anyway, so I think that this would be great. Arguably, so comparing the project to the iconic franchise arguably doesn't explain how much about what it'll be about, as there's a lot of Star Trek. But the Captives' War is closer to Star Trek, whereas The Expanse was more to Battlestar Galactica. Again, both of these don't explain which Star Trek and which Battlestar Galactica. So,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a mystery here. It's interesting that they don't.
Yeah, I don't know. They have screenshots from the modern Battlestar Galactica and from a modern Borg episode of Star Trek, and then 2 from the old school Star Trek, the original series. So who knows what the hell is going on with this.
It's all over the place.
But it's called The Captives' War. Only one novel in the planned Captives' War series has currently been published, and it's called The Mercy of the Gods, and the story revolves around a group of humans taken captive by a nefarious alien race known as the Carrix. Carryx, because extraterrestrial life isn't a focus in The Expanse or Battlestar Galactica, although there is a huge alien-like component to the Expanse, and there is a huge alien exposure in Battlestar Galactica in terms of the Cylons, alien-esque. The most direct comparison is to Star Trek, which is a franchise so large that there have already been many stories about humans being held captive by aliens. So, not so much. I don't know about that. Anyway, the Captives War's proximity to Star Trek ensures it won't be just an Expanse clone. Amazon won't try to directly replicate the success it had with the Expanse. But if it's a good book and they stick to the material and the authors
Right,
of
then
that,
that's good for everybody.
yeah. I mean, it really depends on if they, do the right thing. As soon as they diverge and start being all creative, like they did with Game of Thrones, then it wets the bed and you lose everybody.
Well, they hadn't even finished the books.
Right. And they still haven't. He's busy publishing academic journals.
Because, Game of Thrones was very nonfiction.
if you can get a PhD in Batman, you can get a PhD in Game of Thrones. I'm gonna defend my doctoral dissertation when I write my paper on Westworld and technology, and it's going to be titled "If You Can't Tell the Difference, Does It Matter?" Because that's a quote from Westworld. Anyway, we're going to jump into our teleporter, and that's going to beam us back to the front page of ohmtown.com, where you can go and become a citizen. But I am going to take leave and take the AI with me.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for today's Non Sequitur News. Be back tomorrow for another episode. And in the meantime, subscribe, watch all of our 1900 plus episodes on ohmTown. Watch the replay, tell a friend.
Anything else? No, that's it.
I'm out of ideas.
Oh, goodness. Well, we're screwed. See ya.